Today we will take you to discover the planets in the solar system you ever seen before. Did you know how amazing our solar system is? Let's check it out now.
The Sun. The heart of our solar system is a yellow dwarf star, a hot ball of glowing gases. Its gravity holds the solar system together. Electric currents in the Sun generate a magnetic field that is carried out through the solar system by the solar wind, a stream of electrically charged gas blowing outward from the Sun in all directions. The connections and interactions between the Sun and Earth drive space weather conditions on our planet, which can affect satellites and power grids, change the radiation belts, and trigger the aurora. And never before have we been able to study it so closely. NASA's Parker Solar Probe is diving into the Sun's atmosphere, facing brutal heat and radiation, on a mission to touch the Sun. And this spacecraft is changing the way we see and understand our nearest star. Today, NASA will reveal the surprising discoveries that this unprecedented spacecraft is uncovering about our Sun.
Sound of the planets. Radio waves, sound of planets recorded by NASA. The Sun. The sound of the Sun. Can you hear that? The Sun does indeed generate sound, in the form of pressure waves. These are produced by huge pockets of hot gas that rise from deep within the Sun. The Sun is a huge fireball. The Sun kicked out one of the largest solar flares and coronal mass ejections ever recorded. Solar flares can be very powerful. Our planet is very small compared to large solar flares. Mercury. The sound of Mercury. It is a rocky planet, also known as a terrestrial planet. Mercury has a solid, cratered surface, much like the Earth's moon. Venus. The sound of the Venus. Venus is the second planet from the Sun. Venus is slightly similar in size to Earth. Earth is just a little bit bigger. Venus is the hottest planet, and one of the brightest objects in the sky. Venus looks like a very active planet. It has mountains and volcanoes. Venus is unusual because it spins the opposite direction of Earth and most other planets. The Earth. The sound of the Earth. Earth, our home planet, is a world unlike any other. The third planet from the Sun, Earth is the only place in the known universe confirmed to host life. Earth is the fifth largest planet in our solar system, and it's the only one known for sure to have liquid water on its surface. Earth has mountains, valleys, and volcanoes. But unlike its rocky siblings, almost 70% of Earth's surface is covered in oceans of liquid water that average 2.5 miles deep. These bodies of water contain 97% of Earth's volcanoes and the mid-ocean ridge, a massive mountain range more than 40,000 miles long. This is the sound of Earth. The Earth has only one moon, and the distance between the Earth and the Moon is 384,400 km. The sound of the Moon. The Moon is Earth's only proper natural satellite. It is 1/4 the diameter of Earth, making it the largest natural satellite in the solar system relative to the size of its planet. It is the fifth largest satellite in the solar system and is larger than any dwarf planet. The other major geologic process that has affected the Moon's surface is impact cratering, with craters formed when asteroids and comets collide with the lunar surface. Mars. The sound of the Mars. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun-Earth's solar system and often called the Red Planet. The bright rust color Mars is known for is due to iron-rich minerals in its regolith, the loose dust and rock covering its surface. Mars also has the largest volcanoes in the solar system. The soil of Mars is a kind of regolith, too, albeit one loaded with organic content. According to NASA, the iron minerals oxidize, or rust, causing the soil to look red. Mars has two small moons in orbit around it, Phobos and Deimos. They are irregular in shape. Jupiter. The sound of the Jupiter. Jupiter is the fifth planet from the Sun and the largest in the solar system. That is how small our Earth is compared to Jupiter. It has a mean radius of 69.911 kilometers, and its mass is equivalent to 318 Earth masses. Jupiter has more than 11 times the diameter of Earth. Jupiter's familiar stripes and swirls are actually cold, windy clouds of ammonia and water, floating in an atmosphere of hydrogen and helium. It may also have a rocky core of heavier elements, but like the other giant planets, Jupiter lacks a well-defined solid surface. The Great Red Spot is a high-pressure region in the atmosphere of Jupiter, producing an anticyclonic storm which is the largest in the solar system. Jupiter has 53 named moons. Others are awaiting official names. Combined, scientists now think Jupiter has 79 moons. Saturn. The sound of the Saturn. Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun and the second largest in the solar system. It is a gas giant with an average radius of about 9 times that of Earth. It only has 1/8 the average density of Earth, however, with its larger volume, Saturn is over 95 times more massive. Saturn's interior is most likely composed of a core of iron, nickel and rock, silicon and oxygen compounds. Its core is surrounded by a deep layer of metallic hydrogen, an intermediate layer of liquid hydrogen and liquid helium, and finally a gaseous outer layer. The planet's most famous feature is its prominent ring system. The rings of Saturn are the most extensive ring system of any planet in the solar system. They consist of countless small particles, ranging in size from micrometers to meters, that orbit about Saturn. The ring particles are made almost entirely of water ice, with a trace component of rocky material. Saturn has 82 moons. 53 moons are confirmed and named, and another 29 moons are awaiting confirmation of discovery and official naming. Uranus. The sound of the Uranus. Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun. Scientists classify Uranus as ice giants to distinguish from the other gas giants. Uranus's atmosphere is primary composition of hydrogen and helium, but it contains more ices such as water, ammonia, and methane, along with traces of other hydrocarbons. Uranus has a volume 60 times the size of Earth. The Uranian system has a unique configuration because its axis of rotation is tilted sideways. While Earth's tilt is just 23 degrees, Uranus' tilt is an astounding 98 degrees. As a consequence, Uranus doesn't revolve around the Sun like a spinning top drawing a circle, but instead, it rolls ahead like a bowling ball. Currently, we believe that the planet tilted so severely after being pelted by massive celestial bodies following its formation. Uranus has 2 sets of rings. The inner system of 9 rings consists mostly of narrow, dark gray rings. Uranus has 27 known natural satellites. The 5 main huge satellites are Miranda, Ariel, Umbriel, Titania, and Oberon. Neptune. The sound of the Neptune. Neptune is the 8th and farthest known solar planet from the Sun. In the solar system, it is the 4th largest planet by diameter, the 3rd most massive planet, and the densest giant planet. It is 17 times the mass of Earth, slightly more massive than its near twin Uranus. Neptune average temperature is minus 201 degrees Celsius to minus 214 degrees Celsius. Neptune is an ice giant, a planet of monster storms and a recluse rarely seen. In 1989, when Voyager 2 observed the planet, a great dark spot was present among other spots. It was a storm about the size of Earth passing through Neptune's atmosphere. The Great Dark Spot, an anticyclonic storm system spanning 13,000 kilometers times 6,600 kilometers, was discovered by NASA's Voyager 2 spacecraft. Neptune has 14 known moons. Triton is the largest Neptunian moon, comprising more than 99.5% of the mass in orbit around Neptune, and it is the only one massive enough to be spheroidal. Pluto. The sound of the Pluto. Pluto is a dwarf planet in the Kuiper Belt, a ring of bodies beyond the orbit of Neptune. It was the first and the largest Kuiper Belt object to be discovered. After Pluto was discovered in 1930, it was declared to be the 9th planet from the Sun. This led the International Astronomical Union in 2006 to formally define the term planet, excluding Pluto and reclassifying it as a dwarf planet. According to this resolution, there are 3 conditions for an object in the Solar System to be considered a planet. Number 1, the object must be in orbit around the Sun. Number 2, the object must be massive enough to be rounded by its own gravity. Number 3, it must have cleared the neighborhood around its orbit. Pluto fails to meet the 3rd condition. So the Pluto now is dwarf planet. Pluto's surface is characterized by mountains, valleys, plains, and craters. The temperature on Pluto can be as cold as minus 226 to minus 240 degrees Celsius. Pluto's mountains can be as tall as 6,500 to 9,800 feet, 2 to 3 kilometers, and are big blocks of water ice, sometimes with a coating of frozen gases like methane. Pluto has 5 known moons: Charon, Nix, Hydra, Kerberos, and Styx. This moon system might have formed by a collision between Pluto and another similar-sized body early in the history of the Solar System. In addition to Pluto, there are more dwarf planets in our Solar System. Dwarf planets. Ceres. Ceres is the largest object in the main asteroid belt that lies between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Haumea. Haumea is a dwarf planet located beyond Neptune's orbit. 2 small satellites have been discovered orbiting Haumea, Hyakka, and Namaka. Makemake. Makemake is the 2nd furthest dwarf planet from the Sun located beyond Neptune's orbit. It is the 3rd largest known dwarf planet. Eris. Eris is the most massive and 2nd largest known dwarf planet in the Solar System. Eris has a very small moon called Dysnomia. Dysnomia has a nearly circular orbit lasting about 16 days.
Please subscribe and press the bell if you enjoy my video. More video is waiting for you.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy my video.